Okay, let's just jump right in. For thousands of years, humanity has basically walked this Earth with a sense of total invincibility. I mean, civilizations rise, empires collapse, generations come and go. But the overarching story, it's always been one of survival. But today, in this explainer, we're going to look at the research from historians, scientists, and experts to uncover a totally different narrative. We're talking about the fascinating and honestly kind of terrifying fragility of the human race.
So it's a super heavy question, isn't it? What if one day humanity just disappears completely? Not just a single nation falling, or a specific civilization fading into history, but every single human being on Earth gone, forever. It sounds literally like the plot of a Hollywood blockbuster, right? But experts assure us there are actually several very real, mathematically possible events that could wipe us out. And as you'll see, these threats come from the ground right beneath our feet, the deep reaches of space, and actually, even our own brilliant minds.
You know, there's just this massive contrast between our technological ego and our actual fragile reality. We look at our sprawling, glowing cities and modern weapons, and we feel completely untouchable. Yet, a microscopic virus can literally shut down the globe. A single rock from space can end an entire era. We are basically existing on a razor's edge here.
And what's really wild is seeing how our daily survival is entirely dependent on this incredibly delicate, interdependent web. Think about it. We flip a switch and expect light. We turn a tap, we get clean water. But if our food supply chains, our global electricity grids, or our climate stability collapse all at once, that buffer between modern comfort and prehistoric survival vanishes instantly. Honestly, humanity could face extinction way faster than most people even realize.
And this fragility creates a genuinely terrifying cascade of systemic collapse. Take something like a nuclear war, for example. The true horror isn't actually just the initial explosions. It's the nuclear winter that follows. Smoke blocks the sun globally, worldwide temperatures just plummet, and suddenly even nations thousands of miles away face massive global crop failure and widespread famine within just a few years. It's a complete domino effect.
Which brings us to a really uncomfortable realization. What happens when the greatest threat to our survival isn't actually an asteroid or a plague, but our own ingenuity? What happens when we destroy ourselves from within? Let's dive right into that first category, threats from within, specifically our own creations. Now, artificial intelligence is already woven into basically everything we do, analyzing data, controlling machines. But the danger here isn't some sci-fi robot army. It's what experts call the alignment problem. If we build super-intelligent AI, systems way smarter than all of us combined, and their goals don't perfectly align with human survival, we just become an obstacle to them. We're building something so incredibly powerful that we literally cannot afford to get it wrong on the first try.
And then there's the domino effect of climate collapse, which isn't just about things getting hotter. It fractures the entire social balance that civilization relies on. Rising sea levels and strong storms trigger mass global migration. Massive droughts lead directly to wars over shrinking resources. Extreme heat causes failed agriculture, which sets off total economic collapse. Humanity only survives because nature remains balanced. When nature's balance breaks, the global social balance shatters right along with it.
Okay, so we know we can definitely be our own worst enemy. But what if the threat isn't something we build, but something we awaken? What if the Earth itself decides to just hit the reset button?
That brings us to the wrath of nature.
Diseases have always shaped human history, for sure. But scientists really fear the ultimate pandemic, a future virus with a specific deadly combo, rapid transmission, a long incubation period, and high death rates. Or even worse, an engineered bioweapon. And the massive irony here, our greatest modern achievement, globalized travel, is actually our greatest vulnerability. A virus with a long incubation period can board a plane and cross continents in literally hours, silently spreading everywhere before a single alarm even goes off.
And sleeping right beneath our feet are giants like the Yellowstone supervolcano. When these erupt, it's not just local devastation, it's a massive cascade. They choke the sky, air travel halts immediately, ash covers entire continents, sunlight is permanently blocked, and global agriculture instantly collapses. Actually, scientists believe a supereruption 74,000 years ago reduced the entire global human population to just a few thousand people. We literally survive by the skin of our teeth.
So, we've looked at our own creations, and we've looked deep beneath our feet. But what if we look up? What if the real threat comes from above?
Let's talk about threats from the cosmos.
66 million years ago,
That's how many years ago a single asteroid struck Earth, releasing more energy than billions of nuclear bombs, totally collapsing the food chain and wiping out the dinosaurs. Now, NASA does track a ton of dangerous near-Earth objects today, but we just can't see everything lurking out there in the dark. Some experts believe another major impact isn't just possible, it's statistically inevitable.
Then there's our own star. The sun occasionally releases these massive, powerful eruptions called solar flares. Now, a direct hit from a massive solar storm wouldn't physically burn us, but it would completely fry our technology. In an instant, destroyed satellites, dead electrical grids, total global chaos. We'd be plunged straight back into the dark ages overnight. It just proves how deeply reliant we are on this super delicate circuitry.
And of course, there's the great alien unknown. As we eagerly broadcast our existence out into deep space, some astrophysicists warn about the dark forest theory. This is the idea that the universe might actually be full of hostile advanced civilizations who are intentionally staying quiet just to survive. If our radio signals accidentally alert something vastly more advanced than us to our fragile little world, well, humanity might not stand a chance.
But listen, there is one absolute deadline we cannot negotiate with. In about 5 billion years, our sun is going to expand into a massive red giant star. The oceans will boil, the atmosphere will burn away, and Earth will become completely uninhabitable. Our only chance of surviving the unavoidable death of our star is to have packed our bags and left this planet long, long before it happens. So, with all of this looming destruction, nuclear winters, supervolcanoes, asteroid impacts, a dying star, we're left with the ultimate question: can humanity actually survive all this?
Which brings us to our final section, the fight for survival.
The good news is, we aren't just sitting around waiting for the end. Humanity's ultimate superpower has always been our incredible adaptation. We actually have a blueprint for our future. We're actively monitoring those near-Earth asteroids. We're mapping the human genome to develop rapid global vaccines. We're working on building resilient energy grids. And yes, we're exploring space with the goal of becoming a multi-planetary species, so our eggs are no longer all in one fragile Earth-shaped basket.
Still, you know the absolute scariest possibility? It's the sudden, completely unexpected event that humanity just never saw coming. The Black Swan event that changes history overnight. Because beneath all our glowing cities and brilliant tech, our existence really does remain incredibly fragile.
We've transformed this planet, we've created art, we've even walked on the moon. But we are just one small world floating in an endless universe. And I love this reminder. The future of humanity has not been written yet. We have the technology and the awareness to protect our planet. So the ultimate question is, are we going to be the architects of our own destruction or the authors of our greatest chapter yet? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep questioning everything, and I'll see you